Hey, everybody, welcome to the DBC Inc. Facebook Live. It's been a minute since we've been here with you, but we are glad to be back for a very special occasion. It's our favorite thing. It's a book birthday. And so we are joined, first of all, by the baddie and the natty, the queen of CrossFit, Tara Martin. What's up, Tara? We can't hear you. We can't hear you, my friend.
Oh, sorry. My dog was drinking water, and I decided to mute for all of the visitors. I'm super excited. I was going to say I'm going to open my package, and I'm hoping that it is what I think it is.
Yes.
On the show.
And then also, before I introduce the man of the hour, if you are joining us, feel free to throw your name over into the comments. Let us know who's here, and we would love to connect with you. I see Kristen is already here, and I have a story about Kristen coming up, so be ready for that. But first, let me introduce the man of the hour, all the way from Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Canada. We have Mike Johnston. Mike, thanks for being here.
What's up?
Mike is not only the DBC Inc. books author of You Are Poetry, which you should all check out, but he is the brand new author of this incredibly unique and special project, Teaching is a Tattoo. Own who you are as an educator enough to wear it out loud. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you. Thanks. It is it's been a minute in the making, and I'm so pumped to be here and sort of release this book into the wild, because man, it's there are so many parts of it I'm so excited to sort of hear what people think of. So stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. And since Kristen's in there, Kristen, if people were to go to page 210 and 211 of the book, they might see a little entry from Kristen. And that's one of the cool features of the book, is that throughout the entire book, there are like a huge number of educators who have contributed their tattoos and have contributed their stories behind the meaning of their tattoos to the project, really strengthened the project and really kind of rounded it out and made it something that's super special. And so, Mike, maybe if you want to share something about how it was to get all these people to be able to be willing to contribute.
Well, as most things that are wonderful are, that was a really collaborative sort of idea. Like I've always had great conversations with people about their stories, and as passionate as I was about putting this book together, at one point there was just sort of a lightning strike, a revelation that's like, this is, if it's a book about stories, it seems a little hollow to just have a singular voice in there. And from there, it really evolved with support from you guys as well, with this, like, let's just do a crazy thing and just involve as many people as we can, because the more stories we have in a book about the importance of story, the more that snowball sort of gathers momentum downhill. And I'm so stoked, because before the book even came out, I was talking to people about the project, and they were like, I have this tattoo, and I had an idea for a tattoo, and I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the more people share who they are, the more those connections are made. So I was really, really stoked that the conversations had taken place with other educators and with the team working on the book, and just so many people came to the table and were like, yes, let's put as many tattoos in here as we can and make it just visually delicious and really full of some epic stories that are going to make people feel connected and help them see themselves in these stories as well.
Yeah. Hey, Renee, thank you for joining us, and thank you also for ordering the book. We can't wait for you to get it,
thanks,
take a
Renee.
look at it. Yeah. So Renee, co-author of Ed Brandy, joining us. Good to see you here. And so Tara, it did turn out to be the book, huh?
Yes, I have my copy.
All right.
It's so beautiful. When we first got the PDF version of it, Dave and I were looking through it to see all the educators that were represented in here. We were having so much fun, like wanting to tag each and every one of you that have decided to allow your story to be shared in this beautiful, beautiful piece of work that Mike has put together. And I told Dave, like, I need this to be sitting on my end table. I told him that I want it sitting on my end table, like in the living room, so people can see like these cool tattoos and their stories. And I think that's what's so cool about this book too. I love the subtitle of this book, Own Who You Are as an Educator, Enough to Wear It Out Loud. And I also love the fact that you don't have to have tattoos to have this lasting impact, obviously, on your students. That's really what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And yeah, Mike, I'm really excited about it.
I love that I love that you sort of jumped in with this idea that you don't have to have tattoos. I've always felt like tattoos are a different type of something that we all do anyway. Like people who don't physically carry tattoos, like I get that comment a lot, like, well, I don't have tattoos, and they're like, but you do, like a tattoo in its most traditional sense is like, of course it's ink and skin and story, and that's wonderful. But the other thing is we all carry tattoos in our own way. Like we carry these stories in the skin and bones of us. Like we carry the things that have made us. We carry these moments that define us. And it's this really wonderful moment in history where, teachers are far less monolithic than we ever were before. Like this used to be this idea of a teacher is this type of person in this type of environment doing this type of thing. But really, the thing that makes us the most powerful educators now is the idea that we walk in with these stories that made us who we are. And as much as those make us wonderfully individual, they also create these waypoints where we can sort of connect to other people. Like all of our stories are these bridges that create understanding and empathy and context and connection. And whether that's a physical tattoo or a scar or a story or, like a freckle or whatever, like anything that makes you is unique to you, but it's also just calling out to be connected to the pieces that make other people themselves. So yeah, absolutely. Like having tattoos is great, but like there is not a single person. Like I've never seen a grade 1 student with a tattoo, but I've also never seen a grade 1 student who didn't walk in with the whole story of what made them who they are on the skin and bones themselves too. So it's that's sort of the rally cry of seeing that in people.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't have a tattoo. Tara doesn't have a tattoo, and we love this project. It's not like I think I put it in a social media post. You don't have to have a tattoo to get a lot out of this book, but if you do, this is going to blow your mind. Like this is going to rock your world, right? So it's like it's kind of like the best of both worlds. Mike, you have an interesting thing in here, which I think is a big and important part of the book, and it's the Ink, Think, Ask. Maybe if you could tell us a little bit about what the Ink, Think, Ask sections of the book, as those are sprinkled throughout the book.
Mm-hmm. So every chapter, so there are 13 chapters. Lucky 13 is a pretty big deal in tattoo culture. So we sort of worked around that idea. But the Ink, Think, Ask is really important to me because the thing that I've always loved most about books geared towards educators is this idea that they should have pieces in there that you can bring into the classroom. Like it's always important to be reflective of practice and things like that. But I wanted that extension too. So Ink, Think, Ask for me is every chapter gives you an opportunity to think about what the tattoo of this would be on you, right? Sometimes it's physically like draw the tattoo out or think of the idea, like visualize what the impact of this part of you is, visualize what this part of your story is, and then give yourself some time to think about what that means to you, right? So ink, right? Draw it out, think it out, think about what that means in terms of your person and your practice. And then ask is really all about creating space to have people ask the same questions and have the same answers. And by people, I mean, the people that you love, your students, your staff, yourself, people around the dinner table. Like all of this is designed to be like, what is great about me? What makes me wonderfully, authentically awesome? And what forged me to be the person I am? And how do I listen to the same in others? Like having a tattoo is is really a conversation, right? If you walk around with this story on yourself, you're not hoping that nobody ever notices it. You're hoping that there is a conversation. You're hoping that this story is part of who you are. And a tattoo, the physical ink of it, is really just about that next level commitment to storytelling, right? It's that next level commitment to taking those pieces and showing people like, this is what I want to carry. So everyone has that, like everyone has those pieces. And I really, I see so much value in that. Like I have such a deep love for the stories that people carry that I just wanted to sort of like, let this be a thing that's like, yeah, like let's fall in love with the stories that you carry. Let's celebrate the stories that you carry. Let's give you a blowhorn to tell those stories, and let's give you an ear to listen to the stories of others. Because that's like, without that, what's the point of life? Connection's what it's all about.
I love that. And you have a quote in here that's kind of sums that up. Like, really, you just said teaching is a tattoo because both create connective tissue between things that might not otherwise be connected. And I think that's just, I don't know, it's just beautiful. I love this book so much. I'm really excited about it. And I think
I'm glad.
It's so cool to be able to, like you said, to give teachers kind of that boldness, if you will, to wear what they do out loud.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have a tattoo because you want somebody to ask. I mean, you're not hiding it. Like, you were proud of it. It's a part of your story. And I think that's the way that you connect it to teaching. It's kind of reminding us that, like you said, it's not just teaching is just one thing. We are lots of things, and we need to be able to, as your subtitle says, own who we are, enough to like be bold about it and share that story with others, share it with our learners, but also share it with those people that are around us. And
I think that frees people up too, to not have to fall in love with everything about teaching, like in myself, it is okay for me to love parts of my story. But as a human being, there are definitely pieces that, when I'm awake at night or when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, I would have done that different. Or these are some things I would change about me. And that's wonderfully human. Like, anybody who doesn't really have that sort of like, maybe there's some things I would nudge about who I am. I mean, you might want to check your internal thermometer on that one for sure. But like, the same is true for teaching. Like, you don't have to be spectacular and amazing at everything, like you don't have to fall in love with every aspect of the job. And like I say in the book, like, there's some teachers who get there, at 6 a.m. and everyththing about them is teacher, and they got teacher mugs and teacher hats, and like everything about their identity is teacher, and they stay there until 7 p.m, and that's wonderful. And there are also teachers who like go there and they do a wonderful job, and then they leave as soon as the bell rings because they take that hat off and they become, dad, or they got to go walk the dog, or they got to just get out and get some sunshine. And like, all of those definitions are great. All of those stories are wonderful. And like, all of the different pathways that people take to falling in love with who they are as a teacher are valid. And I think that's an important piece to celebrate.
Mike, that reminds me, in Teach Like a Pirate, one of the things I talk about is I call it the deep, dark secret of teaching, education, that nobody wants to talk about. And that's even though we know that we're supposed to be passionate about our work, the truth is that we're not passionate about everything that we do. And that's okay. And there's other ways. There's ways that you can bring different passions from different areas into what you do. It doesn't, you don't have to buy all of it, right? And so I love that.
Well, I mean, it's like this weekend, my daughter had a volleyball tournament, and I love her and I love watching her play volleyball. But like, after 9 games, I was tired, and that's okay. It's like, there's a difference between cheering at, 8 a.m. and like 8 p.m. So, it's okay to be real about these things. It's okay to be really human about that, and just wear it and be like, this is who I am. Because, I could feel bad that I was tired at the end of a long day of volleyball, or I could be like, yo, you're a good dad. Cause like you in there all day cheering, and like she knows you love her. She looks up at the stands and you're there all the time. And that's a win.
Yeah. One of the things I also love, Mike, is the wide range of people who contributed stories, and so many different and unique stories. And we're not talking like 5 people here. This book is people poured into this book from all different parts of life, kind of. So, and I think that's something that just really makes it a strong project.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I got really excited when we started talking about including as many educator stories as possible. Like I cast as wide a net as I possibly could, especially because it's always been great for me to hear stories that I have absolutely no context for. Like in human existence, each of us is only ever going to be the person we are, and nobody else is ever going to be like us ever. That's just the way that, genetics and time and space work. So this idea of like connecting to people who I am no way like at all is so great. So I could sort of have a richer life experience by sort of having pieces of theirs. Like it's this wonderful buffet of life where if we go and we have little bits and tastes of everything, like the beautiful, wonderful, happy, full belly that we get from that is so great. So like, yeah, there's people in the book from all walks of life. There are people in the book from all inches of education, from administrators at high levels to people who are on the front lines of educational social media pieces, and like the people who have all sorts of different roles in the school system. And it was just super, super lovely. People who are like me, people who are not like me.
Librarians, all, you name it.
Yes. Yeah. It's true. Like it's such a wide list of humans. Professors, like you name it. Education is covered in this book in whatever definition it has. So
Robin, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And yeah, you're going to love the book when you check it out. And we have another contributor to the book joining us. Holly is here. Thank you, Holly, not only for being here in the Facebook Live, but also for your contribution to the book. We absolutely love it and are honored to have you inside of the project. Absolutely.
And it really is an honor too. Like all these humans that got to be part of this project. It's really, really nice that I in my heart, it's like our book, it's like let's have a moment. And I do mean our, not just the people in the pages, but the people's whose stories I just haven't gotten to yet. Like this is our book. This is a book for educators who wear stories, and I want to hear them and I want to connect them and trade them. Like I'm just about that life. Like I couldn't be more excited.
You mentioned our book. There's another thing that I wanted to shout out, and that is that, we're super proud always of our production team. And, but on this one, maybe even more so, I really think, so shout out to Lindsay and Sal. Sal was the one who worked really hand in hand with this book, and then Liz with the layout. So we have some incredible people who work behind the scenes that nobody ever sees, that really bring our projects just to that next level of shine and polish and just so much more powerful. And Sal and Liz and Lindsay and the whole team that put this together behind the scenes just really knocked it out of the park with this one.
So beautiful.
I couldn't agree more. Sal even has a shout out in the book.
Yeah.
By the time I got to the end of it, I was like it's like teaching in itself too. Like I'm an Indigenous educator, and rule number 1 for Indigenous education is learning is always community. And I always feel like these book projects are always community too. And it would be nice if there was like, you could just keep adding extra pages at the back of like other tattooed educators and other stories, and like have this infinitely long, manifesto of tattooed teachers. But like, it's just really an excuse to go out and find those connections and make those connections anyway. Like I'm just so excited about the fact that this book is potentially like an infinite just connection between so many people.
Like the gift that keeps giving. So Mike, I have a question for you. What was your most favorite part? You've done 2 projects with us. So thinking about this.
You muted yourself, T.
You muted yourself, buddy.
My headphones died.
It was a good question, and then I was like, oh my goodness.
Sorry, my headphones died. It mutes it when they die. What was your most favorite part about this project?
I think my favorite part about this project um, is just it just felt different, you know? Like I understood when I did You Are Poetry, I understood that the mission was people teach poetry, and I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about what it means. I want to give them some tools. I want to give them some pieces of a world that I understand, and hopefully that's going to make their practice more exciting. But this just felt like something that was like, no, I just want to talk about something that people don't always talk about. Like I go to like in my role, I go to every school in my school division, and I see teachers wearing tattoos all the time. And it's nice that people get to wear them like publicly now, because like I speak to in the book the fact that like when I started teaching, I was told that maybe it was a better idea that I cover like all of my tattoos all the time, and now it's just sort of commonplace. it's the Disney principle. Like now cast members are allowed to show their tattoos, and that's what, like, it was a big coup, you know. So I really was excited to talk about something that I felt was like really people don't talk enough about. You know, like there's a lot of pieces of teaching that are great and cyclical, and we come back to these wonderful ideas. And I was like, no, this just hits different, and it put a responsibility on me in writing it and in my heart to be like, I just want to start a conversation here that is going to keep going. I want to start a conversation here that people feel proud to be a part of, in a way that's like, maybe there's going to be people who stand up in a way that they haven't stood up before. You know, maybe there's gonna be people who be like, yeah, no, I picked this book up, and you know what? I got my tattoo because of this. And I tell people all the time, it is impossible not to love someone a little bit more when you know their story a little bit more. So everyone whose tattoo story I have heard, regardless of my connection point to it, regardless of whether I understand their story or whether I've lived it or whatever, that matters. You love people a little bit more when you know them a little bit more. And for me, part of people standing up and being like, this is my tattoo, this is who I am, love me for this because I love me for this, it felt like wonderfully responsible. Like I just needed to do this idea justice.
Yeah. First of all, Holly, we're so excited you got the book. And so I think as people get this book, they're going to open it up and just be blown away.
I hope
and it's
so.
going to be fun for even the people that are in the book. They don't know about the other contributions to the book. You know, they put and so for them to be able to thumb through and see the other people that are joining them in the project is going to be fun, I think. And she also mentioned loving You Are Poetry and her doing poetry as she walks through nature and stuff. I love that. Sean, thanks for joining us, Sean. I think you're going to find that this is as good as You Are Poetry. And it's just like Mike says, very special and unique project. Has a different vibe to it. I love You Are Poetry, and
me
at the
too.
same time, this just has a different vibe, and so we're pretty dang excited for people to get this and to start reading it.
And to be honest, Dave, I mean, you should, like, this book stood out the second he pitched it. Like, the minute we got off the call with Mike, Dave was like, I mean, isn't it? Like, this is so cool. Like, this is a cool project. I want to do it. And that's not always the case. Like, of course, we bring it to others in the team to like discuss it. But it was special from the minute you thought of putting it together. And then now that it's all together, it's just so beautiful. And like you said,
what I appreciate about you guys too is that like I wouldn't have even pitched the idea had I not understood that this is kind of what the team does. Like what you guys do and what we do is that like it's okay to do things a little bit different. Like sometimes curveballs are really effective, you know, and I think that that's the beauty of it too. Like, why play it safe when you can play it amazing? You know, like you can always hope for a clear sky, but you can put fireworks up sometimes too. You know, like it's really nice. Yeah. So I just really appreciate the attempt. I really appreciate the idea that like everyone understood that this was a cool idea, but everyone also understood that this is a conversation. Like this is a book that is intended to start a legit conversation and have some people walk around feeling a little more excited about who they are, and translating that into a little bit of swag for their students and a little bit of swag for their staff and their families. And I just was so enamored with the idea of tattoos as a metaphor for people falling in love with what makes them who they are, that like that needed to be a real conversation.
Yeah, I love that. And so as you all get the book, we'd love to see a picture of you with the book.
I would.
And maybe for Holly, Kristen, like it'd be so cool to see a picture with you with your page, maybe with your face page or something like that, just to like show the wide range of people that are a part of this. And so I think that would be super fun to see.
Also, if you get the book and you have a tattoo and you wouldn't mind sharing your story, like through a reel or a live or a video, or, typing it in a post, that would be so beautiful too. As Mike said, we all gain new levels of empathy when we are able to learn a little more about each other. And so it'd be cool if you get the book and you're inspired to share your tattoo.
That was a real pie in the sky dream of mine. As I was putting this book together, I was like, it would just be so dope if, teachers were up on social media. Like, I just read this book and like, here's my tattoo. And I just read this book and like, I don't have a tattoo, but here's what makes me great, and I'm like, yeah, like, yes, like, let's shine a spotlight on it. Like, let's like this book is written by me, but it's an invitation to you, like it's like I care far more about the echo than the first stone on this one for sure. So I'm really excited about the echo and the ripples for sure.
Renee, how come I didn't know you have 30 plus tattoos?
We need to see those.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
I feel like I need to go get more now.
I feel like I need to get my first one.
Yeah, I really appreciate, like, I'm trying to focus too, but I also really appreciate everything that's being said in the chat, like wonderfully positive stuff. And I really appreciate the things you guys are saying about You Are Poetry and about this next book coming out too. Just thank you, because so much heart and work goes into these pieces. So to know that these pages connect with people like that is, man, I'm going to sleep so good tonight for sure.
It's so true. So if you don't have the book, guys, go out there, grab it. I'm going to put it over in the links, but if you just type in Teaching as a Tattoo book in Amazon search bar, it's going to pull up. It's the only one, Teaching as a Tattoo book.
Yep.
And yeah, we are just super excited about this project, Mike. Thanks for pitching it to us, two, sharing your beautiful mind and talent with us in both projects. And also in our chats every Monday night. Mike is always there throwing out some wisdom, and I'm just so grateful for that too.
I like that
one tonight. But your words, someone said earlier, and I think it was Kristen, she said, your words really feed my soul. And I agree. I think you just have such a beautiful way of putting words together and making
thank you.
Really reach others' hearts and minds and souls. So guys, pick up your book. I have mine. Mine's going to be sitting on my end table in my living room. I hope people that come in my house pick it up.
I also have mine.
Yeah, everybody has theirs. That I just got mine in today. I'm super excited. But I put it over in the chat.
Wait till you see the design features inside too. Like just the layout is just gorgeous.
Yeah, and again, that's the design team, because like I had conversations with people and I threw out like a bunch of vague words and like, here's what my dream is. And somehow they translated everything from in here to something absolutely stunning. So,
and I love these like blank options, on the ink, think, ask. There's just so much in this book. So grab your copy.
If you want to get the book and just photocopy stuff for a Monday morning class, like there's that too. Like I want that accessibility.
There are some like blank little things. Yes. So check it out. Thanks, Mike, for everything. Thanks for joining us on a Monday night. I know you're a busy dad with kids and sports and everything. And we're just so grateful. Dave?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the Facebook Live. We really appreciate you being here and helping us celebrate with Mike. And like I said, we can't wait to see your book pictures.
We can't wait. Thanks,
everyone. Hashtag teaching is a tattoo. So if you hashtag teaching is a tattoo, feel free to tag Mike, me, Tara, whatever. We can't wait to see it.
So true.
Mike, any last words?
I'm just excited. Like I agree. We can't wait to see all of it. With You Are Poetry, I was so surprised at so many stories and how far it went and the places in the world that it was popping up, and a class of students doing a lesson in France and another class of students doing something else in South America, and like getting in contact with me, and it's bananas. And I feel like that is like, oh, you're teaching poetry and that's great and that's a cool moment, but like this is about everyone. Like every teacher carries a story, and I am sleeplessly excited about seeing people just be like, yeah, I picked up this book and it made me think, and here's my tattoo, or here's my thought on this, or here's why I'm great. And like I cannot wait for the ripples and the echo. I cannot wait.
So be sure and share with us, guys. Be sure and tag us. Don't forget to grab your copy on Amazon. And we appreciate you guys joining us on a Monday night. We will see you at T-Lab over on Blue Sky. If you are joining us tonight at 8:30 Eastern. So hope to see you there. Otherwise, Mike, thank you so much. I'll see you. Mike, Dave had to leave a little bit early. Or right on time, actually. And
right
we're closing this out. So bye, everyone. Thanks, Robin. I can't wait to hear how you connect with this book as well. Bye,
Absolutely.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for everything.